People walk away entirely, sometimes because they never really heard the gospel as good news. They just heard it as good advice. We believe the gospel is good advice. We might perform instead of rest. I start believing that God's love depends on how well I'm doing. If I had a good week spiritually, I feel confident. If I had a bad week, I pull away. And it becomes this never-ending cycle, back and forth, until at some point I say, you know what, forget God. I'm done trying to impress Him. Why does it feel like I'm always on a pip? Maybe it's I compare instead of celebrate. I measure my worth based on how I stack up against others. If I'm doing better, I feel superior. And when others seem to be doing better, I feel horrible about myself. Or perhaps I control instead of trust. So when life falls apart, I just assume that God is punishing me because I broke this formula of do this and get that. Or perhaps I hide instead of confess. I pretend I'm fine. And so I might even show up to church service feeling like I need to put on a mask. And then it affects my view of church, and I get disillusioned. Or I judge instead of welcome. People divide the world into good people and bad people. And obviously, I'm in the first group. And I become impatient with people who don't change fast enough or who sin differently than I do. Because you're bad and I'm good. And you don't deserve it, but I do. And eventually, whether it's whatever in this list, I give up instead of draw near. People walk away entirely, sometimes because they never really heard the gospel as good news. They just heard it as good advice.